As weird as it is to say, I'm pretty sure that Asterigos Curse of the Stars is my first true dive into the world of Soulslikes. Like, I've tried some asset flips, but Curse of the Stars was a refreshing title, especially after some of the games I've played recently. I was really impressed when I played the game. Yeah, the story isn't the most engaging, but there is a decent call to action and a reasonable amount of intrigue when it comes to story. It's just a shame that most of the storytelling comes from motionless spirit holograms. Luckily, there is a decent amount of charm from the side characters and a healthy amount of voice dialogue for all the important segments, and just plain text if you do decide to dive deeper into the lore. Overall, the world building is pretty good and ties in well with the beautiful visuals. The maps and character design are excellent, and I legitimately enjoyed my time with the game. The game really oozes with atmosphere and personality, and it makes me want a little bit more to be gained from exploration. Character design is also solid. Enemies are cool looking and have a good amount of variety. The main character has a pretty cool design that looks reasonably practical, especially by fantasy standards, and has a collection of costumes that you can unlock that mostly fits the game's theme. Side characters also have interesting designs, but I think the main highlight of everything is the sound design. Honestly, the music of this game is insanely good, well above from what you would expect from a new developer. The voice acting is also pretty good. In fact, most things about this game are pretty good, including the excellent gameplay. I really like how the game feels and love having access to 2 weapons at a time. It is just so fluid and feels really good to change between them. While there was an odd control scheme choice with one of the weapons, I found that each weapon was interesting with their own strengths and weaknesses that you can supplement with your secondary weapon. The skill tree also gives you access to a bunch of cool skills that not only help out players, but encourage the overall feel of experimentation and using the tools you have at hand. With all the skills and settings combined, it feels that this game would be a good transitionary game for those who are unsure if they like Souls-like difficulty. The main downside of the gameplay is a lack of a map and a decent quest log system. It's really easy to get turned around or lose where you are and where you're supposed to go in some of the levels. Honestly, it had me on the cusp of pulling up a guide to find out where I'm supposed to go. There are visual markers that will help you navigate the world, but when exploring, I still got turned around a lot. However, Asterigos Curse of the Stars does pretty well when it comes to accessibility. While there is no way to change the in-game voice language, subtitles and menus are available in a total of 11 languages. There's also 3 difficulties too. I personally played on medium and found it reasonably challenging. However, I would say that my most annoying deaths came from having to navigate the map, which felt really cheap as opposed to when I died from enemy fights, where my death was either caused by the way I approached or a lapse in skill, which gave me more drive to try again. Fortunately, there's also button remapping on mouse and keyboard, as well as controller. It does decently in regards to convenience as well. It's available on Xbox One and Series and the PlayStation 5, as well as being available on GOG, Steam, and the Epic Games Store. There's a plethora of settings that would allow for most players to play, and I also didn't really run into any bugs except for an occasional flicker when I was in confined spaces. But despite this, I do think that Asterigos Curse of the Stars is a pretty good game. It's punching way above its weight class and is fairly priced for the quantity and quality of content that you receive. Combat, visuals, and music are legitimately great, and I hope other devs take notes. However, there are a few problems that may hinder it from being a must-play, but it does earn a fairly strong decent. It's just a shame that the lack of a map and adequate quest logs and the map layout are really holding this game back for me. Well, what do you think about Asterigos Curse of the Stars? Let me know down in the comments below, and check out my last review on Cynthia Hidden in the Moon Shadow. Consider subscribing, and until then, this has been Rob the Slob, and I'll see you in the virtual commute.